Wayne State Athletics previewing the 2024 baseball season, joined by 16th year head coach Ryan Kelley. Coach, before we talk about 24, let's go back to 23. Obviously, a very successful season, winning a season in program history. You win the GLIAC regular season and tournament, make another NCAA tournament appearance. Just talk about that campaign and what it meant for your program.
It was a great campaign, tremendous experiences, great team camaraderie. We've had a number of successful senior classes going back to our initial year of 1941 in the history of our program, and I think last year's senior class, they're right up there at the upper echelon of our history. Just the adversity they've gone through, the resiliency they had to aspire and grind through, and just winning ultimately, and having the name on the front of the jersey, a big part of our culture last year with that group. The senior class was a catalyst in our success. But obviously we had some successful underclassmen as well, and everyone performed well on and off the field. We had some victories, as you noticed, and some accolades, but tremendous GPA, community service, graduation. I'm very confident that our seniors from last year will go on to do great things in their post-Wayne State career.
So now the 2024 season, it's coming right up, starts next month on the 16th. Obviously a big page to turn. But in the offseason, what did you see from your guys, and what were you able to accomplish with your team?
Sure. And so when you have success, you sustain success, there's always an area that you have to continue to look forward and push ahead. And we've had some team development, some senior development with that phase in the offseason. And I'm excited about this group. I would like to acknowledge our co-captains that were voted on by our team this year. Tony Hatza-Giorgio is a sophomore, Caden Stively, a pitcher, Ryan Slaychek, pitcher, and Jacoby Dale, outfielder. Collectively, they've been working together to formulate a great bond within this team, and we need some returners to execute some success on the field, and we need some newcomers to help us produce as well. And we've been stacking some days and reps and practices to get to this point, and we are hungry and ready to go.
So when it comes to position players, you mentioned Tony Hatza-Giorgio already. He comes back at third. Bennett Hitzelberger over at first. Mason McGuire in the outfield, and then C.J. Morey, your shortstop. I think those four are probably your top returners as far as position players. And then newcomers. What do you see out of that group this season?
Yeah, so you mentioned a few of the names there, and Morey, Hatza-Giorgio, Hitzelberger, and there's others in the mix. There's always an opportunity to move from an underclassman to an upperclassman, and as you continue to gravitate through the channels of NCAA baseball, that's a pivotal point. And so we are looking for big years for some of those names that you identified, whether it's performing on the field or developing more in their leadership skills and traits to help our team move forward. We're looking forward to the position players having a great year. We had some very key catalysts last year. They're no longer with us, and now it's someone else's opportunity to fill those shoes. And so we're eager to see that hunger come forward. But we have a couple guys that were successful players on this team in our history that did not see much time last year due to injury, and they returned. And Logan Tobel, Jacoby Dale, two key individuals within this team culture and dynamic. They'll see time in the outfield and at the plate. Mason McGuire, you mentioned, he had some success as a utility player last year. Looking forward to that. Behind the plate, we do have guys that received a number of at-bats and time behind the dish, and Logan Van Sicklen and Kyle Ray last year. And so they look forward to kind of keying in on our pitching staff with compliments of Matt Ferris in the catching ranks. But yeah, there's some newcomers as well that I'm looking at our depth chart here on our list. A freshman out of Grosse Pointe North, Drew Hill, very competitive individual. Hopefully he can do some things for us. Reagan Paulina, a quality transfer, who's shown the ability to do some things as a utility player. And guys like that returns, like Gabe Nazelli, who's been around the program for a couple of years. Looking for some activity out of him on the position front. And there's some newcomer within the freshman class as well that will probably see some time.
So position players, now we talk about pitching. We'll start rotation-wise, which I'd say last year was probably as good a reason for success as any. You're very starter heavy, and you get three of those four primary starters back. You get Griffin Killander back, you get Seth Morano, the lefty, back, and you get Carter Fitzpatrick, an All-American last year, had a great campaign, obviously. What do you see in your starting rotation so far?
So the experience is very helpful. Anytime you can sustain a number of innings pitched and log mound time in competitive environments, that's going to help you move forward. And obviously the pitcher is such a key dynamic and position within this game. The ball's in their hand every play of the game. And so having that experience and that success, we're going to lean on that. I mean, there's leadership on the mound. I think historically with this program, we've kind of developed a culture of success on the hill. And so hopefully those individuals that you mentioned can continue that legacy moving forward. But yeah, Seth Morano, Kylander, Fitzpatrick, they kind of have leaning in to anchor the starting 3 rotation spot right now based on what they've done in their body of work. But there's others that have had spot start opportunities like Hayden Stively. He's seen starts, he's seen relief opportunities. There's someone like Ashton Potts who's seen relief success, but he's hungry to start potentially as well. Maceo Miller, who returns from injury, he might be someone that can be a key dynamic for us. And then there's some relief pitchers as well. David Thurman, who's logged a lot of time out of the bullpen in key moments, going back to his freshman year. Looking forward to him have a great senior year this year for us. Coy Plummer, he's someone we talked about becoming an underclassman to an upperclassman. Cam Rosen, Ryan Slachek, Keegan Pulford Thorpe, he's a left-hander out of Ontario who's been with us now for a couple of years, and we want to see some success out of him. And then there's some newcomers like the Will DeMassey, Evan Langlois, Avery Mona, and Gavin Nash, some right-handers that we look forward to maybe helping produce some success for us on the mound.
So lastly, you've got 49 scheduled regular season games. 42 of those are against in-region opponents. Obviously, very important to stack up region wins, especially when regional rankings start coming out and you start looking at the NCAA tournament picture. But when you were putting this schedule together, obviously it didn't come this offseason. It started years back. But what were you looking for, and what did you go about when planning it?
Well, one, we always are looking for a location to play at. And so even though we've had an opportunity to be outside on a few occasions here in January and moving into February with some practice detail, we're looking forward to opening up with Hillsdale for an in-region series in North Carolina. So going to hopefully get some quality weather in that environment, play at a good ballpark against a quality opponent that's in-region for us. And yes, as you mentioned, in-region is very key when you're trying to get that postseason scenario, and that's critical in our environment at the Division II level. And so that's going to be a fun weekend to open up. We've had history with them. We have history with Tiffin, who's our second weekend. We'll do a 4-game series with them. And then we'll make our trip to Florida and play some quality non-region opponents down there in Florida Southern, St. Leo, out of the Central Florida region. And so we're looking forward to those first trips before we start the conference play.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time and good luck this season.
Thank you.